He smelled blood, life trembling on the edge of death. The
Legends rises. SPB cartoon.
The air itself trembled when he moved. Nature bowed to his power, for he was born to command. A legacy written in bone and blood. A kingdom carved by strength alone. Each step was an earthquake. Each roar, a declaration of rule. He came from the depths of time, forged in chaos and flame. A predator without equal. In that gaze lay the memory of every battle. The will to dominate and to survive. Even the shadows fled before his roar. The forest knew its king had awakened. His voice was thunder. His breath, the wind of extinction. The world burned around him, yet he remained unchallenged. A monarch born of fire and fury.
Behold the king of the dinosaurs, the last word in power, the first name in fear.
Every step of the king was a command to the earth itself. The jungle parted in fear, for it knew the monarch had returned. Power pulsed through his veins like molten rock. He was a living weapon, built to conquer every corner of his world. Those jaws could shatter bone in a single strike. To see them open was to witness the end of another life. To the small, he was a nightmare carved from stone and flesh. His presence alone could scatter herds into chaos. Each scar was a victory etched into time, proof that even pain could not unseat the king from his throne. The land stretched endlessly beneath him, Josie, a realm forged in survival. Every heartbeat,
He smelled blood, life trembling on the edge of death. The hunter had found his purpose once more.
Despite his size, he moved with terrifying silence. The jungle itself seemed to hold its breath as he approached his prey. In that moment, instinct took over. Pure, ancient, unstoppable.
The world below was calm, unaware of the storm about to break. And so
The calm before the storm. Prey grazed beneath fading light, unaware that the night would belong to a killer born of legend. He moved like shadow and thunder comhasinged, a phantom of muscle and instinct. Even silence trembled in his wake. Scent, the language of the hunt. To him, every heartbeat was a map, every breath a promise of the chase. They felt him before they saw him. The ancient memory of fear, older than words, took hold. And then fleet, fury. The king unleashed, hunger and dominance fused into one unstoppable force.
Even in terror, some chose to stand. But courage means little before the jaws of power.
The sound of collision tabard, bone shattering against destiny. The king had struck. Strength met defiance, will clashed with will. The earth trembled beneath the weight of two titans. Dominance was never given to it. It was taken, torn, earned through blood and fury.
And as the dust settled, the world remembered why they called him king.
The hunt was done. But in the silence of victory, the scent of new challengers hung heavy in the air. To rule is to fight. To survive is to reign. And the king was far from finished. The king ruled the land, but in the waters below, another power stirred. A rival born of river and shadow. From the depths came the whisper of another beast. Older, hungrier, unbound by fear.
The challenger had arrived. Flesh and sail, claws and vengeance.
When kings meet, the heavens themselves tremble. The age of peace was over. Each breath carried centuries of dominance. Only one would leave the battlefield crowned in thunder.
The river exploded in fury. The monster of the deep had drawn first blood.
But the king did not bow. In defiance of fate, he answered with thunder and teeth.
Power met rage, claw met fang. The world itself seemed to split beneath their fury.
For a moment, the River King held the crown. But legends do not die so easily.
Defeat was not his nature. To challenge a tyrant was to awaken a storm.
The gods of an ancient world collided. Chaos made flesh. Destiny made roar. Two kings, one crown. The law of nature written in red. The tide had turned. The true king's wrath rose like the storm itself. And in that light, history chose its victor. The world had narrowed to pain and defiance. Two gods of tooth and bone.
He had ruled for ages unchallenged. Yet in this single night, he faced the edge of his own mortality. Every strike was a storm, every wound a prophecy. Neither would kneel to Mithaf, neither could retreat. Beneath the surface, the war continued in silence. Even death held its breath to watch.
From the abyss, he rose once more. The flame of survival burned brighter than the storm. Even as life faded, pride refused to yield. A king does not. In that instant, time itself shattered.
Victory had no roar left in it, only silence. The cost of kingship was written in blood.
He had endured the flood, the fire, the fury. The crown was his, not through conquest, but through survival. He had endured the flood, the fire, the fury. The crown was his.
Legends are not born in glory. They are forged in struggle. And the world would remember this night for eternity.
He was no longer just a beast. He was a symbol of life's endless will to fight.
And so the king stood known, scarred, unbroken, eternal.
From blood and storm, a new dawn rose. The earth itself seemed to breathe again.
He had conquered not through cruelty, but through endurance. In every scar lay the story of survival, the mark of eternity. He was no longer a creature of flesh and fang, but a legend of fire, thunder, and time.
The world remembered its rhythm. The storm had passed, but his roar still echoed through every living heart.
He had become more than a ruler knight. He had become the spirit of survival itself. His voice carried across the mountains, through the clouds, through time.
And so the earth remembers the roar that once ruled the world.